almost 2 years to the day after that senseless sinking of the Titanic, another senseless disaster happened here, right in Colorado. Colorado Fuel and Iron Company had a number of mines in the state, and the Ludlow mine, just down around Trinidad now, in the fall of 1913, the miners, thousands of them, went on strike. They were evicted from their homes, all those families and workers. They had to they set up a tent city there so that they could have a place to live while these negotiations were being worked out. And the mine owners called in the militia. Now you've got the workers, and you've got the militia trying to get through the winter. None of them had adequate food. None of them had adequate shelter. And we were facing one of the worst winters Colorado had seen in a long time. What did they think was going to happen? In April of 1914, now, things came undone. And there was a firing of that tent city. They set it on fire, and many lost their lives, including 11 children and 2 women. One of my heroes in this life now, reformer Mother Jones, put it this way: smoke from an armed conflict can rise from the arroyos and ravines of the Rocky Mountains, and nobody cares. Nobody listens. Then Ludlow came and the nation heard. Little children roasted alive makes front-page news. Dying by inches from starvation and exposure does not. Well, I tried to remain neutral. Now, the Rockefellers owned that mine, and they were friends of ours. But the more I heard, the more I realized that this disaster didn't just happen for no good reason. Now, I visited the mines, and I saw the conditions in which those miners were expected to live and work. And I could no longer remain neutral. I lectured, I traveled. That next year, I worked hard to bring attention to this labor reform that was so critical to our country moving forward. And I have to say, it took almost that entire time for the Rockefellers to budge even an inch towards reconciliation. My family owned mines for years, and we had our troubles, but we always met the just and reasonable demands of our workers. Why, back in those days, I even joined the union myself. I got a card, and I went to the men, and I said, "I'm one of you." I never forgot where I came from. Well, now, none of us knows what we'll be remembered for, if anything. I hope that I am remembered for all the work that I sincerely put into making a difference. Denver, Leadville, all those cities, they were like every other city in the country at that time, all working for change, social, political, labor, reform.